Hi, I'm Kevin from Trees and Trends, and today we're going to do a series of how-tos for you. And so the first thing that we're going to do is start with the mantle. Our greenery we're using from our ForeverTree line. This is the long needle pine and magnolia leaf, cedar, and juniper line. I'm using 2 of the garlands. They are 6 foot long each. And so you can see I've used where it cascades all the way to the floor on each side, which I love to do. You could also use a single one if you don't want that much. These are a more expensive line because they are molded from the actual trees and foliage. So they're very realistic looking. I have chosen here a candelabra, which is almost as if it's made from actual different pipes and fittings. So it's very industrial looking, which is really in right now. But you can choose any candelabra that you like for your centerpiece. And I have merely worked that garland around it. So this has anchored it and given the mantle a center point and given that center point of the fireplace itself an anchor. Then I have used our cluster lights, which are very popular. They have a 50,000 hour light life, and of course tons of lights in a small amount of space. This is the 18-foot length that I have used. Just one strand does the whole thing and lays in easily. And so I've just laid that in here, and then you're ready to start with ribbon. Now, ribbons, I'm using just 2, and for those of you who have said, I have tried and tried to tie bows, don't worry because we're not going to do a bow on this one. Now, I have used or chosen a 4-inch wide wired bark ribbon for this, and then this year the buffalo check seems to be extremely popular in the black and red, and it has just a bit of a felted texture to it. And I've already cut today just to save some time, but you can start along one edge and just play along with your length and then cut on the other. But just gather in the center and do the same with your other one and sort of gather there also. And we're going to just lay that right in the middle here. And then as I hold, I'm just going to let this lay along and play. Now, don't stretch your ribbon. Let it lay, let it roll, just like you would any fabric. Do the same thing with your red, and notice I don't have them running along in the same manner. Let that take up some air, let it flow. Then do the same thing on the other side and just let it flow naturally. And now your ribbon is added. Now, to fill in here, because again, your center is your focal point, we're going to use a couple of gnomes. Gnomes are really, really popular this year. And we've got some really fun ones. And so these are already weighted, so you don't even have to tie them in. So you're just going to sit them in. I'm using them where they sit on a couple of different levels. Now on the ends, I need some height because, of course, the garland itself has some height. I've got just a couple of floral vases. You can use anything that you want to give some height. I'm going to turn these upside down and sit them over to the side. But, you know, if you've got any kind of pedestal, you can do the same. And then I have a couple of more gnomes. And I'm just going to sit those on top so that raises them up where they can peek over the foliage of your garland. And then on my candelabra itself, I have our motion flame candles. These use 3 each of the AA batteries. These run on remote and also have a timer function to them. So once you turn them on the one time with the timer function, then they're going to come on at that same time every day. And the wonderful thing about them is that they run for a full month off of one set of batteries. And so I don't have to worry about coming in every night to turn them on, and I don't have to worry about those batteries again for that full month. And there I give my full effect there. And if I could have my lights turned on the mantle.